So if you yeah, so this class is going to focus on our spine, mobility, strengthening, but of course there's going to be everything else in there too, right? Like we always do. So just standing comfortably, feet comfortable under the hips here, toes pointed forward. Okay, and we're going to start with a little energy lift here. So a little Tai Chi move. So we're going to take our arms and just cross them in front of us, bend the legs a little bit. Let your back round a bit and pull that energy up like you're taking off a sweatshirt, pulling it over your head. And then let the arms float back down by your side, palms out, knees bend. You're going to round forward, cross the arms as we breathe. Inhaling and exhaling. So feel that energy lift up. And then one more time as we bring our arms forward, letting the knees bend a little bit, little round of our back, and lift. The new moon today, new moon, new things, good time for new starts. All right, and then leaving your arms by your side, we're going to go ahead and lift the heels as we lift up onto the toes with a big inhale and exhale back down. Couple of times to help us center and balance and move our feet, right? Inhale, lift, and exhale, lower. Let's add one knee with that. So as we inhale, you can keep your other foot on the ground, or you can lift the heel if you think that's something that you can manage. And exhale back down. And then shifting over and lifting the other knee up as we inhale. And exhale back down. Good. And again, lifting that first knee. And again, you might try lifting your heel if you think you can. And exhale, arms and foot back down. And one more time. Good, and we're lifting our spine as we lift, right? And exhale down. Good, and we'll do a couple more with a twist. So you're just going to let your torso rotate to the right. Lift your heels, lift the arms, and float them back down as your heels come down and come to center. And then turning our torso to the left, we're going to float the heels up as we lift. And exhale back down, and two more times. So come center and then rotate to the right. Lift your heels, come up, and exhale down. Really take this opportunity to breathe, right? Taking it one more time to the left. Nice full breath. And exhale back down. Good. And then coming to center, bring your arms out. And we're going to isolate our rib cage. So rib cage over the pelvis, lined up. And you're going to hold your pelvis still as if somebody's pulling your arm side to side and keeping our spine lifted nice and tall. As we do this, we don't want to collapse the spine, and shoulders are relaxed. Okay, so just take it side to side. Good. Isolating our rib cage. And then we're going to see if we can do a little circle. So taking your rib cage forward, side, back, side. Round around the circle with our ribs. Shoulders relaxed. Arms are relaxed too. We're just holding them up. And then see if you can circle your rib cage the other way. Now this can be really difficult for some people. Your ribs are kind of stuck, right? Two halves need to loosen up. And then coming to center, relax your arms, maybe shake them out. And we're going to circle the hips. Right, so just circle the hips around, letting, of course, the knees and the ankles move. Nice big circle, kind of isolating the hips here from the top of our body. And then the other way. And then we're going to try to do both at the same time. We're going to do both at the same time. So go back to your first direction. And then if you don't think about it and you move your rib cage, it will naturally go opposite to your hips. So see if you can feel both halves of your body moving in opposites, that kind of circles, right? Might not be very big movement on top. And then see if you can reverse it. So this might feel a little bit sticky on the other direction because usually it does, right? So just reversing that circular motion. Yeah, just kind of loosening everything up. Good. And then come center. And we're going to come to the end of our mat or wherever you want to be and take a nice breath. And as you exhale, letting your head relax down and then rolling down, arms heavy. Let your knees bend as much as they need to, right? As you come down. We're going to hang here. You can maybe touch the ground, maybe not, and let your knees bend and straighten. Bend and straighten. You can let your head relax and your neck. And then we're going to stack our spine up. So make sure your knees are whatever amount of bend they need to be. Tucking the pelvis under, arms heavy. We're going to stack the spine all the way back up. And we're going to roll down again. Inhale, exhale, roll back down. Come down. We can bend one leg and then the other leg. So feel our hips doing a little bit of a shift around. Now loosen up the hips here as well. And then centering our hips, walking our hands out away from our feet, spreading the fingers wide. Right. And lifting the tailbone. We're going to just let our heels do a little stretch down, maybe shift your body, let your body shift a little bit here. Well, you can let your head dangle if that works for you and release the neck. So our spine is not just our back, right? The spine goes all the way from the top of our head to the tip of our tailbone. So it includes our head, our neck, our pelvis, all part of our spine. And then we'll bring our hands farther out, coming more into a plank, high plank, or all the way into a plank, whatever your body feels like doing. Taking a couple of deep breaths. And then we'll lower ourselves down to the mat. Come around to our back. And bring our feet in line with our sits bones on our back. Relax. We're going to do a little bit of a sequential bridge, right? So we're going to isolate our spine a bit here. So just taking a nice inhale here. As we exhale, we're just going to curl our tailbone up, right? So your top half of your hips are still on the mat. The rest of your spine is on the mat. And then relax it back down as you inhale. You can think of stretching your tailbone down, right? And then as we exhale, we're curling our tailbone up, right? Curl it up. And then stretch it back down on your inhale. Again, curl it up on your exhale. And our hips are on the mat, but just the bottom part of our hips might lift. And stretch it back down as you inhale. And then we're going to take it just a couple inches higher. So as we exhale, we're going to feel our hips come off the mat, but our low back is still on the mat, right? So you're going to just lift the hips a little bit, and then you're going to stretch back down on your inhale. So we're really mobilizing our spine. Exhale, curl the tailbone and let your hips lift, but feel your low back on the mat. Inhale, stretch back down. Trying not to let our shoulders tense when we do this. just try to keep it in that area. And then exhaling up, we're going to take it a couple more inches. So we feel the bottom rib cage. We feel the very bottom of our ribs still on the mat. Right? And then stretch it back down as you inhale. Nice deep breath. And then this time we curl the tailbone, the same thing. We just lift the hips and the low back, but we still feel our bottom ribs on the mat. And then stretch it back down on your inhale. And then we'll go a couple inches more to the middle of our rib cage. So as we exhale, we're curling the tailbone up and we're peeling one bone at a time, just to the middle of your rib cage. Find that. And then stretch the spine back down. So start to really feel some mobility. Good. Again, exhaling, peel just up to the middle ribs. Again, trying not to tense our shoulders, and then stretch that spine back down. And then we're going to take it to the bottom of our shoulder blades, or the kind of near the top of your rib cage. So you feel the bottom of your shoulder blades still on the mat. Okay? So you're not quite all the way into your bridge. And then you're going to stretch that spine one bone at a time back down. Good. And again, nice full breath. Peel up to the bottom tip of your shoulder blades. And then stretch the spine all the way down. Now we're going to go all the way into our bridge. So you're going to take one bone at a time up into your bridge. Right? So you're going to still feel your shoulders on the mat, of course, but you're probably a little bit higher here. Inhale. And then as we exhale, we're going to stretch our spine down. You might feel like you're reaching through your knees as you do that. And then relax and inhale. And again, peel off the mat one vertebra at a time into your bridge. And then at the top of our bridge, arms are going to go up and over our head and relax on the floor. And then we're going to stretch the spine back down. Feel like you're stretching away from your arms all the way down. And then clasp hands behind the head. Inhale. As you exhale, you're going to curl up. Think of lengthening. So kind of pull on your head a little bit, like grab the base of your skull and just gently pull to lengthen the top half of your torso up, kind of like we're bridging, right? And then you're going to lie it back down one bone at a time. So we're going to get the top half of our spine. Inhale. And then again, kind of gently pulling with your hands to lengthen, and then curling up. Get a little bit more if you can. And then stretching the top half of our spine, lengthening it back down to the mat. Good. And again, inhale. Get a little pull just to feel like you're lengthening, and then curling up again. And then when we come up, we're going to reach and grab hold of our legs, back of our legs, lift a little higher, pull yourself up a little bit more, maybe another inch or two. Stay here, bring one hand and then the other behind your head, and then stretch that spine all the way back down. Good. And again, inhale, exhale, curl up. Reach for your legs, grab hold behind the legs, lift a little higher. Good. Stay here. See if you can stay up as you bring one hand, other hand behind the head, and then lengthen your spine all the way down. Good. One more. Exhale up. Reach for the legs, lift, hold hold up there, one hand, other hand, behind the head, lie back down all the way. So we're going to keep our awareness with our spine. I know a couple of people came in late. We're focusing on our spine. So we're going to really keep our attention there as much as we can. And we're going to bring our legs together here with our hands still behind our head, and let your legs sway over to one side, keeping your shoulders on the ground, and take a breath. Yeah, so keeping our focus and attention primarily on our spine, most of what we're doing today. Good. And then lifting the legs, take them over to the other side, and keeping our shoulders on the ground, and just breathe. And bring the legs back to the top. And we're going to draw the right knee in, grab hold underneath your knee on your shin. Stretch that leg in as you stretch your left leg out. Curl up, head toward knee. Rounding in toward your leg. Stretch our legs away from each other. Relaxing the head and shoulders down. Draw your left leg in, stretch your right leg out, curl up as you pull that knee in. Good. Stretching our legs away from each other, curl in toward that leg. And lie back down. Draw the right leg in again, holding underneath that knee. This time we're going to curl up toward our knee, and we're going to press our leg into our hands to try to lift ourselves up as if you were going to rock up, right? So pressing your leg into your hands, lifting up, your whole back might come off the mat. We're not going to rock up. It's just as if you were going to, right? And then lie back down. So just using your arms and leg. Draw your left leg in, grab hold. Good. Curl up, and then pressing leg into hands to help you come up a little higher. Okay. Really press that leg into your hands. And then lie back down. Draw your right leg in again, straighten it to the ceiling, and then curl up, climbing up the leg a little bit if you can. Pull your head towards your leg towards your head for a stretch. And then you can relax your head down as you stretch your leg here. Give it a good stretch. You can move your foot. Right? Roll the foot around. Bend and straighten the knee. Whatever feels good to you. And then go ahead and bend your knee. Pull it in. Give it a stretch. Draw your left leg in. Stretch your right leg out and straighten the left leg. Curl up and grab hold wherever you can on that leg and give it a good stretch as you reach your right leg long. And then you might just let your head relax down and stretch your leg here. Flex and point the foot. Circle the ankle. And then we'll bend that knee. What we're going to do is we're going to keep that leg bent, but keep the right leg straight on the mat, like that. Bring your hands behind your head. Again, clasp the hands behind the head as we inhale. Feel kind of like you're lengthening your spine. As you exhale, you're going to curl up toward that knee, turn to the left. So we're looking kind of behind our left elbow, right? Come back to center and lie back down. Inhale, exhale, press up again, turn to the left. And you're just going to stay here and sort of do a little pulse toward that knee with your right elbow. So just a little pulse in our little rotation here. And then we'll stop, come center, lie head and shoulders down. Then keeping your head on the mat, take your left leg across your body. Try to keep those shoulders anchored. And see if you can straighten your leg, if that's possible. And then lift it up. And then open it out to the side, to the left side. And lift it up. Bend the knee again. Inhale. Exhale, curl up. Rotate again. Little pulse toward that knee with your right elbow. We're just going to do this twice. Don't worry. Okay. Breathe. Stop and come center. Lie down. Now we'll take that leg across the body again. See if you can get maybe a little farther. Let's see if you can straighten your leg here. You feel that stretch, shoulders on the ground. Good. Lift that leg up and keep it nice and high if you can as you open it out to the side. And lift it up. And then we're going to do a few circles. For more challenge, keep your hands behind your head. Otherwise, let your arms extend out from your shoulders, okay? Whichever you prefer. Take that leg across, sweep it down, out, and back to the top. So knee can be bent, but we want to just let that nice, generous circle happen here. So let the hips move. Let the pelvis lift and rock. Good. Then at the top of our circle, we're going to reverse the circle other way. Try to anchor that right leg down. Good. And then at the top of this circle, go ahead and stretch your knee in, give it a hug, draw that leg in with your hands under the knee. Yeah, a little stretch. Maybe just kind of move it around. Good. And then we're going to bring our right leg up and stretch our left leg long. And you're just going to have that leg in tabletop here. Hands behind the head. Same thing on the side. So inhale. And then exhale, curl up and rotate to the right. So left elbow points toward the knee. Back to center. Lie back down. Inhale. Exhale, curl up and rotate to the right and stay here and pulse. So little pulses. Breathe. Stop and come center. Lie down. Take this right leg across the body. Shoulders stay on the ground. See if you can straighten your leg here. Then lift it up. Open it out to the side, keeping our hip down. Keeping that leg high as possible. And lift it back to the top. bend the knee, inhale, exhale, curl up, rotate to the right and pulse. We'll stop and come center, lie back down. Take your leg across your body. Again, maybe you can go a little farther this time. Straighten the leg. Lift it up. And let it open to the side, keeping your hip down. Keeping the left hip down. Just open it out. Let that stretch happen. And lift it to the top. And then we'll do a few circles, either with your hands behind your head or take them out from your shoulders. Leg goes across, down, sweep it around, and back to the top. Inhale and exhale. Bend the knee if you need to, but really anchor through your left leg, stretch through your left leg, right? Try to ground in. And then we'll reverse at the top after you've done about 4 or so, maybe 5. Take it other direction. Feeling our hips moving here. And then when you come to the top of your circle, go ahead and hug your knee. Give it a good stretch. Maybe move it around a little bit. And then draw your left leg in. Both knees in. We're going to bring our hands behind our head here. Inhale. As we exhale, we're going to curl into a ball and try to bring the knees towards our head and our head towards our knees. And then lie back down as you take a nice deep breath and curl up again, trying to bring your knees toward you. So lifting the hips just a bit off the mat, curl up and lie back down. And one more time. Exhale up. Try to bring your legs toward your head. And relax down. Oh, let's go ahead and bring our hands out. Grab hold of the feet if you can. Open the knees apart, or like a happy baby, and just do a little rock here. So we're gonna just let our body relax and rock side to side. If you want, you can also straighten your legs more and kind of come into more of a straddle. And then bring the feet together, and we're gonna hold on to our left foot as we stretch our right arm and leg out, flexing the foot, big stretch. Bring the right side together, stretching the left arm and leg, reaching through your heel and your arm. And then both arms, both legs, big full body stretch side to side as we reach, reach. Feel our hips and shoulders shifting up and down. And then relax and open your legs a little wider, arms out in a big V. We're gonna keep that legs in the same place as we come into a spiral by reaching our one hand to our other hand and try to stretch as far as you can. So really stretching across the body. And then coming onto our back and taking it to the other side. Good. And then coming onto our back, you can bring your legs together. If you want to bend your knees, put your feet on the mat, go ahead. You can sweep your arms down and roll up, or use your hands under your legs to help you. Bring the legs out in front of the hips, lift the sits bones. Oh, and then bringing the pelvis forward and relax over our legs. Little stretch over the legs. Then coming up, we're going to bring our legs into a diamond, so that loose bend with the feet together. Bring the pelvis forward and stretch forward. Walk the hands as much forward as they'll go. Try to relax the legs and the hips, though. That's really the main thing. And just let those relax. And then sit up and let your torso turn to one leg, but keep the sits bones down. Pelvis in the same position. Just stretch over that leg. So kind of letting your head come towards your knee. Keeping the sits bones all the way down. And coming up to sitting and back to center, turn towards your other leg. Just your chest, right? And then forward over that leg. Good. And go ahead and come back to sitting tall with our legs out in front of us, starting with the legs bent so that we can find our really tall spine. So you're going to lengthen the spine and then see how straight the legs go, right? They may not go all the way straight. They likely won't go all the way straight, right? Mine aren't. Okay, so sit tall. And then we're going to bring our arms into like goalpost or cactus, whatever you want to do, but just having your arms bent by your side here. Good. You're going to lift the spine, kind of feel like you're lengthening as you inhale, and then twist on your exhale, just going to one side. Back to center, lengthen the spine, and then twist the other way. Don't think that you have to twist very far, right? And then when we come to center, straighten your arms out more. Inhale, lengthen the spine, and now twist. Back to center. Good. Shoulders relaxed, lengthen tall, and twist. And back to center. Relax your arms and legs. And we're going to either straddle the legs a little bit or come back into the diamond, because I know the straddle can be challenging for some people. So your choice. But you want to be able to sit tall, so knees can be bent. Let's bring our arms up, and we're going to lengthen tall as we lift our arms by our ears and hinge forward at the hips, right? So flat back. Reaching out through the fingertips to the crown of our head. And then let your spine relax and stack back up, kind of like stacking it up nice and tall, arms out, lift up. Really lengthen, flat back forward, hinge, keep the head lifted. And then let the spine relax and stack back up. Now just turn your chest, torso to one leg, lift the arms up by the ears, flat back forward. So don't let the hips, don't let the pelvis move, right? Just over that side. And then relaxing the spine, stacking up, relaxing our arms, and then sweep them up again one more time, flat back. So don't make sure you check in with your pelvis that it's not tilting, it's staying facing forward. Good. And then relax the spine and stack up from center. Turn your chest point over your other leg. Reach it up. Lift tall. Flat back forward. Lengthen. Good. And then relax and stack the spine tall and lift up. One more time. And flat back forward. Hinge forward. Reach. And relax and stack the spine up. One more time to the center. Reaching arms up, lifting. Hinge forward here. And then you're going to rotate and look under one arm. And back to center, flat back. Rotate, look under your other arm. Back to center, flat back. See if you can do 2 more times. Rotate. Back to center, really flatten the back, and then rotate. Back to center, and let your spine relax, let your arms relax, stack your spine up. Woo! Okay, bring the legs together, closer together with your knees bent. We're going to do a little sequencing with our rollback. So same thing we did with the bridge, basically. You're going to start with just the tailbone. So you're going to sit tall as you inhale. And then as you exhale, just allow your tailbone to curl under. You kind of feel like you're really getting a stretch in your low back. And then lift back up. Good. And then again, curl just the tailbone under. Try not to let anything else round. Right? And lift back up. Inhale, exhale, curl the tailbone and take it another inch or so back, maybe 2, just so you feel the back of your hips down there. And then draw yourself forward and lift up. Inhale, exhale, curl the tailbone, shoulders relax. Same place we just went. So just a little farther. And pull your spine forward and lift up. Keep going. Exhale, take it another inch or 2 back. So we curl the tailbone and we're trying to get that low back onto the mat, right? So a little farther. And then pull yourself up. It's going to be hard if you really focus on your spine, but we want to keep that focus, okay? Really articulating our spine. So we're stretching it down. So we curl under and we go to that same place we were just at, as if you could get your low back on the mat, and then you come up and lift. And then a couple more inches. So we're going back to the rib cage. So really curl the tailbone and articulate one vertebra at a time onto the mat till you find your low rib. And you stop there and you pull yourself up. I'm using my hands on my legs because I want to focus more on my spine. Otherwise, you could let go, but it's better if you can really focus on your spine. So curl under, and we're going to take it a little farther, so a couple more inches, till we find the middle of our rib cage. And then we come up from there. I can barely talk. Nice deep breath, curl under, back. One vertebra at a time up to the middle of our rib cage. And then back up. Walk up your legs and then up, down to back to the bottom of the shoulder blades this time. So one vertebra at a time. So this is a very, very good for obviously for our abs, but we really want to keep our focus on the spinal articulation. When you come to the bottom of your scapula, you're going to stop and then you're going to pull yourself up. Nice deep breath. And this time we're going to go all the way till our shoulders are on the mat, but not our head. Right? So you're just going to take it down to the shoulder blades all the way down. And then inhale and exhale back up. Oh, it's hard. One more. And focusing on each spine, each vertebra, shoulders relaxed, taking it down to the shoulder blades. And when you come up, use your breath, use your hands, whatever means you have. And when you come to the top, go ahead and reach your arms forward. Inhale, exhale, roll one bone at a time all the way down. Take the arms with you. If you want, you can sweep them around and help yourself to come back up that way, right? So whatever works for you. Do a couple of full roll-ups, basically, right? So however they work for you, whether you walk your hands up and down your legs, or just do that big arm sweep to help us come up. Then straighten the legs, whatever works. And then when you come up to the top, you can just take a little stretch over your legs. Relax. I don't know if that was hard for you guys, but I found it pretty hard. It's pretty challenging. I'm still breathing heavy. Okay. Okay, so we're going to come on to one side. And you can either have your legs bent. You can either be all the way laying on your arm, or you can be head on your hand here. Great. And then just going to start with that half bend in the legs, right? And you're just going to start by opening or lifting the top leg and lowering a couple times. So just lift it up however high it goes without rolling back, right? And lower and lift and lower. And then bring your leg behind you. See if you can grab your ankle or your calf or your foot and stretch your leg back. Kind of pull your knee back. Maybe your heel comes to your butt. Good. And then release. And we're going to just let that leg swing forward and back. And do a little leg swing here. Yeah. And then we're going to circle it. So when you take it back, you can lift it up, circle it around, draw it back, lift it up, circle it around. Lubricate our hip joint, mobilize our hip. Then we're going to reverse our circle. Good. And the next time that leg goes behind you, see if you can just lay it down behind your other leg. Press up onto the elbow under the shoulder. We're going to take our top arm and we're going to lift it to the ceiling, open. So you're looking up, arm goes behind. And then lift the arm and we're going to thread through. So just dive through that other arm, reach. And again, draw the arm up, open to the back, lift. And lift the arm and dive through again, like a thread the needle thing through the arm. And coming back to being on our elbow, straighten your top leg. And we're going to press into the ground, lift the ribs, lift the arm, lift the hips if you can. Stretch your arm over. So just like rainbowing the arm or arching the arm and leg away from each other. So we want a lateral bend in our spine, right? And then lift the arm up and then lower everything back down. Good. And again, lift the ribs, lift the arm and lift the hips, arch over, arc over, right? Big stretch. Of course, if you can't lift your hips, that's okay. We still want to get that arching of our spine sideways like this. And then lift and lower everything down and come into mermaid. If you can come into mermaid with both legs like that, otherwise half mermaid will be fine. Take a side stretch here. So this arm by our ear. You can hold on to your leg or whatever to help you. And then bring your arms out, and we're going to rotate over to the side. Bring your arms behind you and spiral back into a twist. And so just kind of let your spine do a little spiraling here. And then we're going to lift the arms up and rainbow over to the other side and kind of pull into a little twist on this side. And again, lift the arms, lift the spine, and rainbow over to the other side. Spiral back. And rainbow the arms up and over one more time to this side. And pull into the twist. Good. And then come around to face forward. We're just going to come onto our other side. So you can bring yourself with your knees in a half bend, either lying on your arm or head on your hand, right? Knees lined up. And just lift that top leg up and down. And up and down. Just kind of opening our hip here a little bit. Up and down, and then bring your leg behind you, grab hold if you can to stretch your knee or your heel towards your butt, but really it's about pulling the knee back, right? So we stretch the front of the thigh, hip flexors. Then we're going to release and just swing the leg forward and back. I need to move myself up or I'm going to kick everything. Swing. And take it into a circle as you go back. You can just kind of circle that leg up and around. Loosening up the hip joint. And then we can reverse our circle. Breathe. And then whenever the leg goes behind you, you can rest it back behind your front leg or bottom leg. Come up onto the elbow, under the shoulder. Taking our top arm up, we're going to open. Looking up, taking arm behind you. Right? Stretching the chest. And then lifting the arm and rounding and threading through that arm. So and then again, lift that arm up, open to the back, looking up, and lifting the arm and threading through your bottom arm. Nice stretch in the shoulder. And coming back to face forward, we straighten that top leg long. Press into the ground, lift the rib cage, lift the hips if you can, lift the arm, stretch over. So arch over, right side. It's basically a side bend here, lateral bend of our spine. And then lift, lower everything down. And then again, press into the ground, lift up, arch, over. And lift up and lower down and come up to mermaid or half mermaid. Take a side stretch. And feel free to move your head around your neck. Yeah, whatever feels good to your head and neck here. And then bringing our arms out, we're going to inhale as we lift and rotate to bring our hands behind us and spiral back. And then rainbow those arms one at a time, up and over, and pull into a twist on this side. Okay. Feel our natural spiraling motion of our spine. Lift up, nice and tall, take it over, spiral back. And lift up, over to the other side, pull into a twist here. Your spine's going to be happy after this. Okay, bring yourself to face forward and bring your leg out from behind you. If it's out behind you, do one little stretch forward over those legs to feel our hips sort of balance here. Yeah. And then we'll come onto our all fours. Again, if you need any padding under your knees or anything in your all fours. Good. We're just gonna find ourselves, stable on the mat, fingers spread wide, and we're gonna start by curling the tailbone under and then lifting the tailbone up. Again, we're keeping it in the tailbone only, right? Just the tailbone curls under and lifts up. Feel how good that feels in your low back. And then let it go. After you curl under, let it ripple all the way through your spine, pressing into the ground, rounding, and then lifting your tailbone and letting it ripple all through your spine until you lift your head and chest. So curl the tailbone under, feel that wave-like motion, come all the way up to the top of the head, and then letting the head start to drop forward as your tailbone lifts and coming into the arch. Really focusing on the spine. Good. And then come to neutral. You might want to bring your hands a little farther in front of you, a little bit more. You're going to curl the tailbone under, round, and press your hips back towards your heels. And then pull your spine up and come into extension by straightening and lifting your chest, straightening the legs, right? So extension, looking up. And then come back to the knees, curl the tailbone, press back towards your heels, draw your spine up and come into extension by unfolding and looking forward. And then one more time, coming back to the knees, round, press back. Lift your back up and unfurl your spine into extension. And stay in extension. See if you can just look over your left shoulder and back to center. Look over your right shoulder. And back to center and press back to your knees. Round and press back to your heels. And we're coming onto our belly. So bring your elbows under your shoulders. Right. Start with, always like to start in Sphinx. It's a good transition. And then we're going to draw our elbows down toward our waist. Kind of draw the arms close by our side. It's swan or cobra position. And we're going to do a little wave-like motion of our spine. So you're going to let your head relax And just let your head drop. You're going to press into the mat to lift up. And as you lift up, lift your head. Look up. And then you're going to lie each vertebra back down. And the head comes down last. Right? So feel a wave motion of the spine. Let your head relax. Press into the ground to lift up. And then as you lift up, lift your head. And one vertebra at a time on the front of our body comes back down. And let the head go. This is not our typical swan, right? And then again, pressing into the ground. And then as you come up, head lifts up and lie one bone at a time back down. Great. And then what we'll do now is just use your arms to press your head and shoulders up a little bit, like you're going to go into swan. Float your arms off the ground, and then reach one arm overhead. Pull that elbow back in. Reach your other arm. Pull it back in, and reach. So we're staying lifted off the ground. Pull in, reach, pull in, reach, pull in. Now your next arm, whatever one goes overhead, your other arm is going to go alongside your body. We're going to do a little helicopter. So you're going to sweep the arms. Just going to follow that arm back, right? So the arm by your leg, just kind of follow it back and switch. We call this a helicopter, right? So just kind of side to side, staying lifted off the mat. Head doesn't have to be very high. Just have to be a little bit lifted off the mat. Good. And then we're going to bring both arms back to underneath our shoulders, right? Hands under the shoulders, elbows in, relax down. And then go ahead and press yourself up onto the knees. We'll sit back to our heels for a little stretch. Our back. Whatever feels good to you, right? However that feels good to your back. Maybe with your knees open, or maybe you like the knees closed. Just take a moment to stretch. Relax everything. And then we'll come up to sitting, and the last thing we'll do for our spine and our shoulders is thaw. So if you want to, you can sit with your legs straddled, either bent or straight. You could bring your legs into a diamond if you want, whatever's comfortable for you. All right, so sitting tall, and we're going to anchor our hips as we rotate and just reach across for that opposite foot. Right. And lift up and rotate, stretch across. Really going just kind of with your breath, flowy movement. A little twist and a little stretch here. Use your back hand if you want to press forward with your back hand, or you can reach it away from your front arm. And breathe. When you're even on both sides, you can just end at the top. Give your shoulders a little shake or whatever they need. Maybe give your head a little circle around. Yeah, releasing the neck. Good. Right. Well, thank you all for coming. Those of you that are left.